Before you buy an electric scooter, make sure to watch this video because this is Hiboy's newest and possibly best scooter they've released, and it just might be the one for you. To learn more, continue watching. Welcome back. This is the Hiboy Max Pro, the newest scooter on the market by Hiboy. I want to thank them for allowing me to share it with all of you. Before we go any further, I want you to take a quick look at the Max Pro. Right now, let's head on over and take a better look at the specs and features of this scooter. Starting off on the handlebars here, we do have basic rubber grips. On the right hand side is your thumb throttle for accelerating. Left hand side is your bell. And for stopping power, we do have front and rear mechanical and electronic braking. They do work in unison with each other. Right in the middle here is your colorful LCD display. It's a one-button design. Long press to power it on and off. Once it's powered on, it'll show your battery level, your speedometer, and drive mode that you're in. There are 3 different drive modes. While it's powered on, a quick single press will turn the headlight on and off. Double pressing will take you through your 3 drive modes. There's Eco, which is the slowest, but will give you the most range of up to 42 miles per charge. Drive mode, which is right in the middle, a little bit faster. And Sport mode, which will give you the most power from your motor and allow you to reach a top speed of 23 miles an hour. In front and below that is your headlight. Coming down the stem is your latch for locking, unlocking the handlebars, or folding them down when you are wanting to transport it. Below that is your front fork suspension, front fender, and this does ride on 11-inch pneumatic tires. Coming down to the deck, it's a big, large, humongous deck, suitable for people with large feet like myself. There's plenty of room on here. Inside of there is housed the 48-volt, 15-amp-hour battery system. And on the side here, there's a couple things to point out. You see this white stripe? That is not a reflective stripe. That actually is a lighting system. So when you power this on at night with the headlight on, those illuminate red. So not only does it give it a really awesome look, but allows others to see you as well for added safety. Below that is your charging port for charging the battery, and this side is your kickstand. In the rear of the deck underneath, which is partially hidden, is spring suspension. This does have full suspension, front fork, rear spring. So it's going to make for a really smooth ride. On the rear fender here is your coupler, so when the handlebars do fold down, it does connect to that. Allows you to pick up the scooter, carry it around. It does weigh 51 pounds and can hold a rider up to 265 pounds. On the rear of the fender is your tail light / brake light. When the scooter is powered on, the light's on all the time. When you hit the brakes, it does flash red to let people behind you know that you're slowing down or stopping. And the battery system does power a rear hub 500-watt motor that peaks at 650 watts. Now before we head back out to do a test ride, let's do a quick comparison with the Max Pro. Here we have 3 scooters that have 2 similarities and a bunch of differences. Number 1, these are all made by Hiboy, and number 2, they all have 500-watt motors, but that's where the similarities end. Starting over here on the right is my Hiboy S2 Pro. This is my very first scooter I ever purchased, and it's been my go-to scooter most times. It's a solid performer. It's got solid rubber tires, so I don't have to worry about flat tires. It goes 19 miles an hour. Does have a range of between 15 to 20 miles. Does have the seat option, which I love. And one of my favorite features is the dedicated electronic brake button. This allows you to brake without having to wear down the brake pads. On top of that, it's just a really reliable scooter. I use it most times when I take a scooter ride. I've taken it to Pittsburgh a few times, and it's just been one of my favorite scooters to own. Moving over here is the first scooter that Hiboy actually offered for review with me. This is the Hiboy VE1 Pro. As you can tell, there's some striking differences. Has the larger 16-inch pneumatic tires, does have a much larger deck. We do have adjustable handlebars you can raise higher or lower. And although there's no suspension, the larger tires do allow for some more terrain access, where this is mainly for smooth surfaces only. This could go on some dirt trails, a little bit of small rocky surfaces, and can handle bumps and bounces much better, where this one you feel every crack in the road. This one does go up to 23 miles an hour and has a range closer to 20 miles. And then moving over here with the Max Pro, what we learned about it already, full suspension, 46 miles range, a long, large, wide deck, and probably the best display system of them all. So I just wanted to show you what Hiboy has to offer as far as small and compact, right in the middle range, and then on the upper end. And based on what your needs are for, this gives you a good idea as to what is out there if you are looking to get a scooter for yourself. Now, there is one more surprise that I haven't shared with you. Want to know what it is? Did you catch that? The seat from the S2 Pro does fit on the Max Pro. Yes, it does have a seat option. So if you do happen to own the S2 Pro or one of the other scooters that does take a seat, their seat is universal with all the Hiboy scooters. So I'm able to use this seat on this scooter and go for a nice, long, comfortable ride and really enjoy myself without having to get my legs, stiff and sore after standing for a long period of time. I do like that the seat is universal and that you could swap it between different products. So if you do buy the Max Pro, just keep in mind the seat is optional as an accessory. You can purchase it separately and utilize it in this scooter or the S2 Pro or other scooters of theirs that do take the seat. Now that you learned about some of these comparisons, let's head on over and do that test ride. We're going to do a little performance test here. We're going to see what the top speed is. And I'm just going to open it up on the straightaway here. We're at 15, 18, 20, 21, 22, all right, we maxed out at 22. It is an estimated max speed of 23, so that's pretty close. And the brakes worked pretty good. Came to a nice, smooth stop. And I did notice too that when you hit the brakes, it does light up an amber color, which shows that it's regenerating, putting that power back into the battery. Ultra smooth ride. It's like you're floating on a cloud. I'm gonna take it down here on this little dirt trail. So it's crushed stone, gravel, and dirt. And it's handling it pretty good. I definitely won't be able to do this on my S2 Pro. I'm going to take it on some more terrain here. Going to cross over the river. I will say for power and acceleration, it's not real punchy, not real sensitive. It's a nice, smooth, gradual acceleration. Gonna open it up here again. Going 19, 20, 21, 22. Going that speed on a trail like this feels nice and stable. Doesn't feel sketchy at all. And honestly, the faster you go, the smoother it is. Like I'm going slow right now, 10 miles an hour. I'm feeling the bumps and bounces a bit more. You may be able to hear it in my voice. The scooter's still doing a great job of absorbing everything, but when you go faster, it definitely smooths out. Yeah, that's right around 20 is like the sweet spot. But you do want to go nice and slow and kind of take in the sights. Like I said, the throttle it's responsive, but not super sensitive. So it's not going to jerk you back. It's not going to throw you off. And it can even fit through tight spaces like this. I will say too, the handlebars are a nice, comfortable distance. Not as wide as the ones on the VE1 Pro, but wider than the Hiboy S2 Pro, which that one, you know, it's a compact scooter. This feels just about right. Here we are in some more bumpy, bouncy terrain, some bigger rocks, and we're still able to keep going. Now, I will say this is definitely not a dedicated off-road scooter. I wouldn't be taking this to like the BMX track and hitting some jumps or, you know, going crazy with it. But for stuff like this, definitely can handle it without an issue. I do love the display too. It's bright, vibrant, colorful, tells you everything you need, which drive mode you're in, speed, battery, even the output. When you tap the throttle, the green bars light up, and you even go to red when you're showing max power. And like other Hiboy products, you can go into the Hiboy app and customize the settings. You could change the max speed, turn cruise control on and off. You could have it from 0 start to push to start. You can also lock the scooter through the app as well. Let's take a moment to talk pros and cons of the Max Pro. And again, these are my personal thoughts and opinions. I'm only speaking for myself and things I've noticed after riding this scooter. For the cons, number one is the electronic brake system. Although it is a combination of electronic and mechanical, which does work efficiently, I would love to see a dedicated electronic brake lever like on the S2 Pro. For me, that's a fantastic feature. Not only allows you to safely and efficiently come to a stop, but it puts that extra power back into the battery and also saves on wearing down your brake pads. Would I like to see it on here? Absolutely. The fact that it has combination mechanical and electronic is good, but I think having a dedicated electronic brake button would be even better. The second con is regarding the tires. Although the tires are suitable, they're good on different types of terrain, they're comfortable, they are going to be prone to flats. Now the flip side of that is that Hiboy does send 2 spare tubes and 2 gauges for checking the air pressure on these tires. And the tires are split wheel design, which makes it easier for changing the tube. So just keep that in mind. If you do get a flat, you're going to be pushing the scooter. But with that being said, it does aid for a really comfortable ride, which takes us to the pros. The comfort on this scooter is far beyond anything I've ridden before as far as scooters go. When you compare it to the S2 Pro, which has solid rubber tires, even the VE1 Pro, which has the large 16-inch tires that has no suspension, with the tires and full suspension, by far smoothest ride on a scooter ever. Whether you're riding on concrete, blacktop, dirt trails, stone, gravel, you won't get shook into bits and pieces, your feet won't go numb, and it's just a really fantastic, comfortable ride. The last pro for me is the seat. The seat option is fantastic because, as we saw, I've used it on the S2 Pro, and when you're doing those longer rides, 10 plus miles, you don't really want to stand the whole time. So having the seat option is great, whether you have the seat already for the S2 Pro like I do, or you buy it as an optional accessory. The fact that this can take a seat just makes it that much better. If you are looking for a scooter, I definitely recommend doing your own research. There's a lot of companies out there, and even through Hiboy themselves, they do have a number of scooters available, but this one being the newest and possibly best one yet, I think it's a solid contender, and I think you'd be pretty happy with it. Once again, thanks to Hiboy for sending this out for review and the opportunity to share it with all of you. And hopefully by now, you know if this is the right scooter for you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, take care, safe riding, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.